Okay, this is a story I had seen on Nancy Grace, and I thought this is something that I've got to talk about. And I not only am I a physician, but I myself had a little exercise bulimia, and my daughter's been very public about an eating disorder she has. So I understand where people go with food and diet and things. In this case, it's an overzealous pageant mom feeding her daughter tapeworm eggs. And this is unbelievable. A nurse in the story you just saw is from Untold Stories of the ER. Sam, you've discovered even more about this so-called worm therapy.
Oh, yes. Is that what we're calling it, worm therapy? Okay, so there is a clinic in Mexico that we found, Dr. Drew, and this is what you do. You drive to San Diego, and they come pick you up. They take you across the border. They put you up in this clinic. They give you the worm. Then you have to stay there while the worm actually does its work. How glamorous. And then they send you out. They give you a little antibiotic to kill the worm. We also found a website, Dr. Drew, that sells you live tapeworm eggs, and they only accept cash if that's not a red flag.
Fantastic. Kaylee, what do you think? What do you think here? Is this up for you?
Oh my God. You know, no, not for me. But when you Google where to get a tapeworm, nearly half a million results come up, and I can't help but think societal expectations are conditioned by pop culture to have this sort of reaction that you have to be skinny. You know, you look at Kim Kardashian's Twitter feed recently, and it's about how large her hips are. That sets such a bad role model, and I think it conditions people to take really extreme measures to be skinny versus versus positive figures like Oprah, who just embrace their size and they're beautiful for it.
Anahita, should this mother be held accountable?
Well, I don't know that she should go to jail for this, but she clearly needs help. I mean, this is plain stupid to risk your child's health and safety in the name of vanity. It just makes me wonder what other types of emotional abuse this girl sustained. Her mom probably was criticizing her weight, criticizing her looks. That's not healthy. So, yeah, I think she clearly needs some psychological help, but I don't think she should go to jail for this.
It's almost an eating disorder by proxy.
Exactly.
Now I brought in a colleague of mine, Dr. David Heber. He's a professor of medicine, Department of Endocrinology at UCLA. Dr. Heber, let's talk about what can happen with tapeworms. Certain of the tapeworms gets free in the body and forms cysts that can go to your brain, correct?
Yeah, that's the pork tapeworm, Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
That actually is called, it's a different species called Tenosolium. But, you know, your point is a very good one. People usually take the beef tapeworm, which does stay in the intestine. It can cause vitamin B12 deficiencies. It also can cause intestinal blockage. As in that little film that you showed from Untold Stories of the ER, you get abdominal distension, stomach distends. They thought this young lady was pregnant at the time. It's totally illegal in the United States to either sell or transport tapeworms, and for good reason, because you can confuse the pork one with the beef one, and it does cause a disease which is a mouthful called neurocysticercosis, which can actually kill you. It can cause strokes and central nervous system disorders.
Yeah,
so it's
literally the larva of the tapeworm going through your body to your brain and setting up an expanding, basically a tapeworm building in your brain. Basically, that's what's happening there. It is extremely dangerous. It's stressful to your body. B12 deficiency sounds benign. It can be significant B12 deficiency that can damage the nerves in your body. It can be a complete disaster. Obviously, a foreign organism in your body wreaking havoc. What do you think about the idea of this being sort of a eating disorder by proxy?
Well, you know, it's not even clear that the amount of calories it absorbs. You know, this worm does not have an intestine. It absorbs whatever nutrients right through the skin of the worm. It attaches itself by its head, and it has both male and female organs, tail, so it can reproduce. So this is not something you want to play with. The World Health Organization has actually classified the pork tapeworm as a health risk throughout Asia. You can get infected with these in Vietnam, Thailand, other parts of Southeast Asia by eating contaminated pork or beef.
All right, I got
so this could be a real problem.